Ready? La 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 la.
What's up, LinkTree? Today we're going to be filming another video.
Today is John's Q&A video. We had so many questions for John, and I'm going to tell you why I think that is. He is one of the only older boys. Well, actually, he is the only older boy in the house surrounded by a lot of girls. Yep. And so I think you guys were all curious about John today. So we have a lot of questions to answer, and we're going to answer them now.
Let's do this.
So here's the thing, a lot of you guys had similar questions for John, and so if I only read like maybe one or two of your questions and not all of them, it's because I'm going to give somebody a chance down the line to ask a question that maybe you had in your questions as well. So I want to be able to answer as many people's questions as I can. We're going to start with Penny Cower, and she asks, getting all those cookies, what a blessing of your mom making them all. And the steaks, what a great gift. So first, I want to clarify, we actually have quite a few sets of grandparents. And so one of them is like, I have my mom and my stepdad, my dad and my stepmom. Sean has his dad, his mom and his stepdad. And then we also have the kids' grandparents. Yep. So they, John and Judy sent all the cookies, and they are actually not my parents or Sean's parents, but we look at them as family. We ended up becoming good friends with them because they had an interest in being in the kids' life, even after adoption, during foster care, after adoption. And so they have actually adopted all of our kids as grandparents. So John and Judy are Emma, John, Rosie, Elena, Izzy, and Charlie's biological grandparents. Well, I say biological. Their birth mom is their daughter, but yep, she was adopted too. So, which, I mean, it's always such a neat, I feel like there's just so many stories within the stories, and they're just all so cool. So anyways, but yes, we have a lot of grandparents, and we got a lot of really cool gifts, I felt like, for Christmas. So, John, what do you want to be when you get older?
I was thinking about this. I want to be kind of a handyman, while also having like a side hustle of vending. I don't know why, but vending is just, I just want to do it so bad.
So I think it's interesting because we did a homeschool lesson on passive income versus active income, and then investment income. And so the kids all learned about what it meant to have a passive income. And so when they did that, John looked into what passive incomes were, and he really attached to vending machines, which is a passive income, well, mostly passive income. And so he has really been talking about that for at least a year, that is something he really wants to do. Now, that is actually something he probably could do.
Yeah, I've been wanting to, I've been asking if I can have a job to at least start it up.
Yes.
But sadly, spoilers, there's going to be a little roadblock. We will not tell.
So I think that John will have to start out at a job, and then he can save up his money, and then he could probably buy his first vending machine. And I would bet that he will be in his teens when that happens.
Yeah, you gotta start it young, because when you're old.
Well, yeah, it's always good to start young. I'm so good. I mean, I'm so glad the kids all have really attached to a business that they really want to do. Like Emma wants to do catering, and Elena wants to start a jewelry company. And I'm thrilled at how they have grown, especially with being homeschooled. I think it's been just amazing for them. Then she said, do you like Texas or the mountains more?
To be honest, I think I like the mountains more. It's because I remember in Texas and Nebraska, there's really nowhere for you to run or climb up. But in the mountains, it makes like things 10 times more difficult.
So it's more of a challenge, you like
Yeah,
that?
it's more of a challenge, and it's not as hot as Texas.
Yeah, that's true. I do think that the things are challenging here because of the altitude, and all the roads are like steep, and when you're working on the side of a mountain with like a small area to work.
Yeah.
All right, next is Darcy. So Darcy says, questions for John. What do you like to do in your free time? What do you do in your free time?
Well, it depends on what free time is, because I got free time and rest time. I mainly have a lot of rest time, which is just sitting down and watching TV.
Yeah.
But my free time, I like to play, I either play with my siblings, or I just like to go practice with my airsoft guns, or slingshot. I just want to try to get that stuff really good at.
Yep. That, and I feel like he actively goes out and seeks Sean. John just loves to learn, and so he'll go out and help Sean a lot just on his own because it's something that he really enjoys doing.
Yeah.
Then she asks, also, let's see, what do you enjoy learning the most?
History, by far history.
Really?
I don't know why, I just
surprises me.
love history for some reason.
That's so interesting. My brother actually is a history teacher back home, and I didn't know John liked history. That's cool.
It's not history about what happened. Like, it's hard to explain, but I'm not trying to learn about how they made the wheel. I'm trying to learn of, like, basically the wars or you know, droughts, or what happened to the people in Mexico that disappeared a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Next is Kathy McLaughlin, and she says, what is your absolute favorite thing to do?
I mean, second thing, I got too many.
That's a good problem to have, too many favorite things.
Yep. I don't really know. I don't really have like a favorite thing to do. I just do whatever I feel like doing.
Just like whatever you're feeling in the moment?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Next is young girl Kima. I hope I'm saying that right. She says, are you done adopting? And I would say, we always say we're done.
100% done. Don't worry, no more adopting kids.
Yep.
But then 2 months later, there's another kid comes along. And mom and dad are like, actually, this can be the last kid.
And we do that. Oh my gosh, we do that all the time. We said that after Charlie. We said that after Christian. And we have now said that after Logan. And I am going to tell you that I honestly don't know. I keep saying I'm done, I'll get rid of all my stuff, and then we end up doing it again. And I think it's just part of who we are, and it has been our calling for so long that it's just in us. It's just part of us. And so I don't know. So we'll have to see.
Yep.
And then, John, what do you want to be when you grow up? Have you decided yet?
Nah, I think I gotta rethink about that whole plan.
Okay, well, what did you think you wanted to do when you grew up?
Oh, when I thought when I was like 5 or like literally when I first came, for like 4 years straight, I said I wanted to do lawn mowing because for some reason I just absolutely I loved mowing lawns.
Yeah.
But then I figured out that you can make a business out of mowing lawns, but just mowing lawns isn't what you really want to do. All I want to do is do all that and more, which is why I want to become a handyman.
Yeah, which is a good idea.
Yep.
Because you could do all different types of things.
Yep, I can build patios while
Yeah.
mowing people's lawns at the same time.
I actually think that a handyman would be good for someone like John. John has ADHD or ADD. You don't have any hyperactivity.
Yep.
But with a handyman job, you get to do this and then this and then this and then this, and then you never get bored.
I don't think I'll ever be in like some type of job. Like maybe like at first I'll start as a job of doing something, but I will never like full time do something where I have to do the same thing over and over and over because I'll just get bored real quick.
Yeah.
It always has to be something new and new problems that I can face.
And then she also wants to know if you want to go to college.
Probably not. Maybe I might. I don't think I'm going to college because the only things I really need are like basically license. I mean, I can't really barely say it. Licenses.
Oh yeah, like a license, yeah.
Yeah, for like plumbing, electrical,
yeah, right,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really need college because.
Yep. And so, we don't push college, and as a matter of fact, we kind of feel like sometimes college is a waste of time, and I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of flack for that one, but I am college educated. I started college actually early. I graduated high school early. I went and immediately went to college. So I started college early, and then it took me a while to actually get my degree. I ended up getting pregnant and having Brianna, and so I stopped for a while, and then I ended up going back and picking up my degree I got a business degree. Now, does that make me feel good about myself that I'm college educated? Yes, it does. And I think people look at you differently when you're college educated. They look at you like, I don't know, you're smarter, you have more intelligence, which is not true. But the only thing that my college degree has ever really done for me, I feel like, is it allows me to say that I have one.
Yeah.
I have never used it. I have never really used my college degree. Sean is a chiropractor, so he has a doctorate, and he did chiropractic for about maybe a little over 20 years, and then completely burned out, and didn't want to do it anymore, and kept feeling like he had to do it because that's what his degree was. And so finally he got around to the fact where he was okay saying, you know what, it's not something I want to do anymore, I want to do something else. So he spent a lot of money for that doctorate degree, and although he did use it for a lot of years, he ended up going off and saying, I'd rather, do something else. And so we say to the kids, college is not something you have to do. You could do lots of things and become very, very wealthy. Or if wealthy is not what you want and it's just being happy, that's okay too. We just want the kids to do something that they really enjoy. And if they don't have to go to college, that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so,
like Jade, she loves, she wants to be like a veterinarian or like train dogs.
Yes.
So doesn't she have to get like a license or something to do that?
I don't know if she has to have a license to train dogs, to have a therapy or a service dog or therapy dog, one of them. You have to have a license, or the dog has to be licensed. But if she wants to be a vet, she has to go to college. Yeah. And so then obviously that would be something where we would say, okay, well, if that's really what you want to be, and that's what you want to be, and you think that's what you'll be for a while, then absolutely, let's figure out college. So we kind of just go with what the kids are feeling. And of course, they're not really going to know what they want to do 100% until they get just a little bit older, I feel like. So the next one is Lisa Lint. John, would you like to be a chiropractor? Honestly, like your dad?
I think I would be the best chiropractor. I would lay someone that has like their foot problem. I would break their spine in half and readjust it. And I'd say, now your foot problem is the least of your worries.
So what he's saying is you don't want him to be your chiropractor. Oh my gosh.
I don't really think chiropractic is the thing for me because...
No, I don't think so either.
I would get worried that I would actually do something wrong if I ever did chiropractic, just accidentally break someone's back.
Actually, I have that fear too. I'm like, I don't even know how Sean did it. I would be so worried about that. Yeah. And then she also wants to know if you would like to have a large family when you get older.
Yeah, probably.
Like, what's large to you?
Large?
Yeah.
Or more than 5 kids.
So you think that you would want to have more than 5 kids?
Probably around 5 kids. I don't know if I can do 10.
Your wife would have to be okay with it. You know what? Setting out to have this many children, we have 14 children total, and that was something that I never in my wildest dreams thought. Like, I didn't set out to have 14 kids. It just happened, and I feel like that's a lot of times life. Life just happens.
Yep.
Okay, Susan, where is your favorite place that you have lived? So, I would say you've lived in Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Okay. Texas. Tennessee for just a short time.
Yep.
And now North Carolina. Which one was your favorite one out of the 4?
I'm gonna say Nebraska is because I had the most experiences there. Like, it's hard between Texas and Nebraska because in Texas, I did everything and it was just crazy. I almost died 3 times. I rode a tractor.
Oh my gosh.
I busted up someone's truck. So, Texas has a lot of goodish memories, we should call them.
He did learn a lot in Texas because he helped Sean with all kinds of things. And then our neighbors, Laser and Esther.
Oh yeah, they were literally the best neighbors.
Yeah, they were. Yes. We have such great memories there. And it's too bad that it's so hot and we just couldn't take it. Because we do a lot of talking about how good our memories are there.
Yeah. Like, if it was like 30 degrees lower in Texas, we probably would still be here to this day.
Oh yeah. And in Omaha, or Nebraska, that's where, that's home to John. He was old enough to remember that that's home. And that's where all his friends are, and that's where our family is. And so I could see why you would say Nebraska.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie Moore. John, what's your favorite Disney movie?
I'm definitely going to say Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yep. All right.
Any Star Wars movie. I've been trying to get into Star Wars, but...
Okay, so Star Wars.
Yeah.
Carol Miller. Would you consider adopting kids in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want only adopted? Do you want to do biological and adopted?
Well, I prefer more adopted.
Okay.
But, if my wife wants a biological one, I guess I can do it.
You guess.
I guess. I just want to adopt the kids because I know what they're going through because I did the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, you could identify with them, definitely.
Yep. Easy.
All right. So get lost and wander. Wanderer. John, how do you like to spend your free time? And do you have any hobbies?
Hobbies? So, how I like to spend my free time is just trying to make something or do something that at least I see as productive. Like using a slingshot, learning how to do it, shooting a bottled can from 50 meters away. Mm-hmm. That's what I usually do in my free time. But hobbies, though, I think the only hobby that I really have is carpentry. So I'll see if I can take a picture of it and put it in here. John, for Father's Day, was it last year? I think so.
He brought me this picture and he said, I want to make this sign. And it was cut out of wood. And I said, okay.
Yeah, they were all going on at me like, John, you sure you can do that? Maybe we should stick with a little postcard.
That's probably
a little drawing.
That's probably horrible of me because I should have had confidence. But I looked at it and I'm like, there's no way. It was so I felt like intricate for somebody who had really never done much woodworking.
Actually, let me go grab it. We have it in the house right now.
Okay.
Well, oh no, it's up top. Never mind. That was the wrong thing.
Okay, that's okay. I'll put a picture in.
Yep.
Okay. So he went out, took this just extra piece of wood that Sean had laying around in the barn, and this is in Texas, and he did it all by himself. Now, Sean was in the barn, there if John needed something. Yep. But he made the whole sign by himself, and he brought it in, and I'm like, no way. And it only took him a couple of days.
Yeah, it took about 3 days. It took basically 2. So when we're saying days, that means the time I spent, because every day, and throughout those 3 days, I spent literally 8 hours doing it. Yeah. But it took at least a week, or literally a week, because
it was crazy.
There was a Sawzall blade. I didn't know how to put it on. I kept on asking Dad, but it was too hot outside for him to go outside. So after 3 days, I was like, man, project's coming up real quick. I gotta put it on. So then I shut it down early. I just watched a YouTube video.
You did?
I just watched the YouTube video how to put it on, and he was like, great. Man, I should have done this a long time ago. That
to me is how you know your kids are good learners, when they can just go out and find the answer themselves. And so that's awesome. So he ended up drawing it out.
Yeah. So it took a span of 2 weeks, but I only spent 3 days working on it.
Yeah, and it turned out amazing. Yeah. I knew he was going to paint it, but then we ended up moving, and we just haven't been able to do that yet.
Honestly, I kind of like the look of it.
The wood?
The wooden type design.
Cool. Oh my gosh, he did such a good job, and I was so impressed with him that he was able to just go out there and do that on his first try. That was pretty amazing. Yep. All right, McKimmy Steinberg. John, do you cook anything?
Oh, yes. I'm actually a professional chef at cooking ramen, cupped ramen. I am...
Ramen?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Now, John has cooked before. Now, I'm going to say, though, a lot of times what happens, and John does have a little bit of interest in cooking.
Yeah.
But what usually happens is he's outside with Sean working, and they will work until the sun goes down. And a lot of times he's out there with him. And so we like start dinner before he gets in the house. Sometimes he's just up in his room messing around. I should call. Usually I'm like, okay, who wants to cook dinner tonight? And then if nobody wants to, then I'll cook it. But I have so many kids that like cooking that usually I have like people fighting over it. And so
I usually don't get to cook as much as I want to.
that's true. John does not, and he should.
I'm pretty good at cooking. Okay?
Yeah, when he cooks, he is pretty good at it. And then let's see. Do you have any hobbies or interests that you read about? Do you have anything that you like research, or you were talking about history stuff?
Yeah, history. I don't really call that a hobby, really.
No,
that's more of like that's just more of an interest I like learning about.
So when you do like your slingshot and your airsoft guns, and do you ever maybe read about? We don't do a lot of reading. I feel like we watch more videos, like how to do things.
You guys, I actually read it. Like those owner's manual how to use a airsoft gun. It was like 3 pages, and I read through every single page. Like on Christmas, I stood there for like 40 minutes just reading the whole thing.
Usually, I feel like that's something that women do. Like women are like, oh man, I have to read the whole manual, and I'll do that. Yep. But I feel like a lot of times guys are like, I'll just figure it out.
Yeah, because the first time I ever got one, I was so worried I was actually going to do something wrong. And like, the barrel will just go all of a sudden point downwards because I pressed it too hard.
Actually, on one of your guns that you got brand new, the spring broke in it.
Oh, first day.
Yep.
I sure listened to Dad's advice and not trying to take the bullet out. Instead, I took the bullet out, but I bent the spring too bad, so
yeah, unfortunately.
Well, it got $6 to replace one.
Donna Lloyd, and she wants to know what your dream job is. So out of all the things we've talked about, is one of those things your like dream job? Or is there something else that you would love to be doing if you could?
This is hard. With a handyman, that's kind of why I chose handyman, is because there's so many varieties. You can do plumbing, or you can build houses, or you can just do simple things.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely not going to do the simple things like, hey, can you replace this light bulb? I'm going to be building like whole entire 5 additions to the house. I want to do that type of stuff. So I think the job I want to get in the future is my dream job. It's because I can do so many different things, and I'll probably never get bored.
That's true. Sandra Lugo. Hi, John. I love watching you and your family. Thank you. What do you enjoy most about being an older brother to most of your siblings?
Best thing I like to do when I'm an older brother, like the best, absolute best, is that I usually have more superiority, or whatever that word's called, superiority over the other kids.
Oh my god.
So they kind of believe whatever I say. I might tell them that if you walk too fast, you might break both your ankles, and they kind of might believe that. I don't know why, but I can say the most random things, and usually I do it a lot. I start saying random things to them, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I said, no, you can't do that. I'm lying.
Yeah, I hope you're telling them the truth.
Yeah, I actually do tell them I'm lying.
Poor kids.
Yeah.
All right. Donut Queen. Is it okay to ask if John is ever curious about his bio parents, or has he any plans or thoughts of reconnecting with them in the future? And yes, that's okay. I think this is a great question. So, are you ever curious about them?
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, no, not really.
So we, because we're friends with their birth mom's parents, I think if we ever wanted to get in contact, we probably could. And their birth dad, though, we're not really sure where he's at, so that would be a little bit harder. But, yeah. I think we kind of know,
Well, I don't really want to see him because when I went back to my birth mom, I was literally the golden child. Anything I wanted, I could get. So I just asked if I could just sit on the TV, sit down on the couch and watch TV every morning. And she allowed that. It was really fun, but then once we left and then I got to know everything, I kind of felt betrayed because she was kind of giving me everything, so I was too distracted to know what's going behind the scenes. And when I figured that out, I felt heartbroken. I felt, man.
So the kids lived with us for 3 years. Well, it was almost 3 years. And then went back to their birth mom. And they were only there for a month, and then they came back to us after a month. And so I think, unfortunately, that going back and then having to come back into care again, it
really changes your opinion.
Yeah, I think some of them were very, very heartbroken. And we obviously wouldn't want to have any contact or anything like that unless it was in their best interests. And I do think that having contact with your birth parents, or any birth family for that matter, is important. And we really, really try to keep that connection, but it has to be a healthy connection. And if it's not going to be a healthy connection, we don't want it to be any connection until it's a healthy one. So, and that kind of goes along with the next question. And Mom, does the idea of this make you uncomfortable, or are you totally open to it? How do you feel about this in general? So, not uncomfortable with it at all, as long as it was a positive, healthy connection or positive, healthy contact. We want to make sure that the parents would be in a good place. And we actually, this has been a long time ago, but we told Jade's birth mom, and we are actually friends with Jade's birth family, or that group's birth family as well. So I would text with birth mom. We talked to their birth aunt, who is actually their mom's twin sister. We talked to, occasionally, in rare instances, their grandma. And we talked to their great grandma all the time. Like, she calls us probably at least once a month. So we try to stay in contact with as much family as we possibly can to keep those connections. And we think they're very important. So we told Jade's birth mom that if she were to get herself into a healthy place, that she could see the kids and that she could have contact with them. And unfortunately, she just was not able to do that. And so we never got to that point. But it's not something we're uncomfortable with. We just want to make sure that it's in the best interest of the kids.
Well, personally, I don't want to ever really see them, because what they did was something that I think basically everybody will be disgusted with, and will never see them in their lives. So.
Well, I think, and that's a good point, John. I think that it's up to the kids. And if the kids didn't want to, we wouldn't force that.
No.
But we're open to it if they were in a good place.
Yep.
All right, Kelly Grant. Hey, John, question. What's the best part of working with your dad? What do you think the best part of working with Dad is?
Definitely, it's kind of learning how to do it and then doing it on my own. Because the day that they got the car, when we got the new, whatever, the gray car or whatever. Yeah. I don't know what brands, I'm not good with cars.
The Honda, yeah.
Yeah. The day they got that, on that same day I was able to fix the mail, and I felt so proud of myself, because I would see Dad do all this stuff, and I would kind of help out, grab the wrenches. So then I finally was able to just learn, after watching 100 times, I was able to just put it together by myself. Yep. There wasn't too many problems. But
so you called us a couple times to ask questions.
Yeah,
which is good.
I didn't want to put it on wrong or do something.
So we showed you, actually, in our new car video, there was a problem with our mule. The axle was broken. And so we went to go pick up the car, and Sean said, if you think you can do it, then do it. And John put it all back together. And he called a couple times to ask questions, which is good. I think asking questions is important. But he did it all by himself. And he did have a little help from Gavin.
And, because there was one part where you had a whole 2 different things wide open. It was real heavy. Yeah. Well, me and Elena had to push 2 things together. Then you have to put those 2 on top of each other.
Yeah. So some of the other kids did help him a little bit when he needed help holding something, but he figured it out and did it. And that, I feel like that's amazing when he learns these things, and then he can go out and he can actually do them himself. And he's only 14.
I think that's the best thing, is learning how to do all these things. Well, yet being so young, so it makes it even more impressive.
Yep. And she wants to know, what is your favorite color?
Neon green. It's never changed for years.
You're right.
At one point, I said neon yellow because I thought neon green. It literally looks like neon yellow and neon green.
One birthday you had, and we talked about how you wanted to dye your hair neon green.
Well,
that's been a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we still need to do it.
We actually, John needs a serious haircut.
Yeah, you know that haircut video? That was probably like 2 weeks ago.
I think it was longer than that.
Maybe more, but my ear, my hair is able to go inside my ears.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this one's. Okay, that's part of the top of my hair.
He really super needs a haircut, guys. Now, Deanne Boonstra. John, love watching your family. How do you like living where you are now? Oh, okay. And then I have got another question for you.
All right. How do I like living where I'm at now?
Yes.
I absolutely love it. Other than, gathering all the water, I love doing because it's kind of like a good workout, carrying those buckets in.
I've actually never, ever told anybody about that.
Oh, you don't?
No.
All right, quick story time. So basically,
let's just tell them real quick. Real
basically,
quick.
When we got here, first week we didn't know that the water tank, the well didn't work. It was full. So after a week, we were like running out of water. So then me and Dad we already had 255-gallon drums.
Yep.
We grabbed a pump. We tried using it. They told us we're not allowed to do that. So I got my big brain and I cut one of those 4-gallon things with the thing.
Yep.
We used that as a funnel, and we had to grab the 5-gallon buckets out of the local spring. It's kind of at a church. It was like a local spring. Yep.
I'll do in an upcoming video. I actually have all kinds of footage of getting water, so I'll show you guys how we do that. But yes, we were a little surprised when we moved into this cabin and realized that the well didn't work.
You guys wondered why the rent was so cheap for a beautiful cabin. That's why there's no water.
There is no water here. So we have to haul water in with the kids go with Sean at least twice, if not 3 times a week, and get water. And we're lucky.
Oh yeah.
Because there is a local spring.
Close. It's like literally you come out of our place, we go down the road, down the mountain, turn right. And when we start driving, it's like 4 minutes away.
Yeah,
and that's how we get the water.
And it's a spring that comes right out of the mountain.
Yep.
And you just put your bucket under there and it just fills it up. And it comes out so fast. It's really kind of cool.
I would say we probably gathered at least around 10,000 gallons.
Yeah, because we go through probably...
a couple hundred a day, I feel like.
No, we go through about 500 gallons in 5 days. So I think we go through about 100 gallons a day, which actually they say that you go through way more than that, but we just conserve. So we're really good about watching our water. Sharon Grant. Hi, John. One of your South African fans here. You seem to be very hands-on. Are you planning to go to a trade school after you finish normal schooling to learn electrical or carpentry or landscaping or construction or cooking? I can see you working with your hands and being outdoors one day. You have a wonderful smile.
Oh.
John does have a good smile.
I do. I got my cheekbones everywhere.
His little dimples.
Yep. I did when I was so young, and one thing is any picture when I was back then, my head would be crooked like 45 degrees. So every picture my head looks like this.
And
I absolutely hated it.
Okay, so we talked about college, but have you ever considered going to a trade school?
I generally don't really know what a trade school is.
Okay, so it's like you'd go to school for just a short time to learn something very specific, like electrical.
And
or plumbing. And then you get a certificate, and then you can do that. Now, you don't necessarily have to go to a trade school.
Like, what do you mean, like a little bit? You mean like a year, or?
Yeah, usually, I think there are a couple of years, like maybe 2 years. I don't know a lot about trade schools either, except for I know that you go, and then you work under someone, like as an apprentice.
Yeah, I think I already got my apprentice, which is Dad.
Yeah.
Because we actually might be starting a construction company or something like that.
We have talked about it, yes. We have talked about starting multiple different types of companies. That's just something we love to do, is start businesses. And so a construction company has been something that John and Sean have talked about.
I definitely want to get licenses, so it's kind of a thing, you don't really want to hire a random stranger with no license to come fix your plumbing.
Right.
Like your whole entire pump broke, so you have a...
Right.
So I feel like those will kind of make you, like, oh, well, he has a license, so he probably knows how to do it. I trust him more.
And I don't think you have to go to trade school to get your license. I think you just have to take a test to get your license.
Yep.
Because I think we obviously have looked into it. So.
Yeah, I basically want to work underneath somebody. You know, like Dad, he's trying to teach me. Because I remember Dad had a mentor, when he was like basically my age, and his name was John.
Oh, really?
Coincidence? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Jackie Saylor. John, being the oldest boy, do you feel like you have to do more than the girls, like yard work type stuff?
Yes and no. Yeah, I feel like I have to do it because I know that they won't do it. So,
that's not true.
Well, maybe some of them, but a lot of the girls are a little complaining when like they literally go outside full white and are ready to work on like the mechanical work. You know, that black grease. They see I'm covered in black.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do. Oh, well, I mean, I won't say that they wouldn't do that, but they don't do that. They do go out and do yard work though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they help with yard work stuff, but normally it's just Sean and John that do the outside work. And then if it's a big, huge project,
like we gotta clean up the whole entire yard or all around the place.
Yes, then all the other kids will pitch in and help too.
So yeah, I do feel like I gotta do more, is because some things that they probably don't really want to do.
Yeah. But John is not the oldest boy. He's just the oldest boy in the house.
In the house, yeah.
Declan is actually our oldest boy, and he's 23.
Yeah.
John, do you feel lonely ever since you're surrounded by girls, or do you just go out and play with them or your younger brothers? Who do you usually play with?
Oh, so, wait, hold up. Can you reread that question?
Yep. Do you feel lonely because you're surrounded by girls, or do you just go ahead and play with them anyways?
I just go ahead and play with them anyways.
Yeah, and your younger brothers too.
Yeah, and Gavin, definitely Gavin.
The kids like to go outside and play football. They like to play all kinds of things.
Yeah, we even make up games.
Sharks and minnows, or I don't know what you guys...
Yeah, then we're basically just making up a new game every day. Yep. Yesterday was like Seeker, which is like... Oh, yeah. We don't know why we called it that, but basically it's like hide and seek tag. But if they see you for more than 5 seconds, you're kind of done. So you really got to be real stealthy about moving around. I feel
like that's what happens when you're in the mountains by yourself with a bunch of siblings, is you just make up your own games.
And there's so many good hiding spots in the forest.
Do you feel a responsibility to set a good example for the kids under your age?
Yes, I 100% set a great role model. I genuinely think I'm the best role model in the house. My mom has something to say otherwise.
I think that all the kids have their pros and cons. Mm-hmm. Right?
For doing the smartest things, Mom doesn't think I'm the one that does that.
Everybody in the house has their pros and cons.
Yep.
Including the parents.
So I do feel like I should set a good example. Yeah. But do I do it? Kind of.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, but...
Not always, but you're a hard worker.
Yeah, and that already sets it good, because Gavin's, Gavin's slowly starting to come out of his shell of just staying inside. Gavin
was like you.
Yep, exactly.
When you were that age. But you, at about 12, started becoming more interested in helping Dad. I think that will happen for Gavin, too.
Yeah, he's slowly coming out, because he was the kid that kind of helped me the most when I was doing the mechanical work. But
yeah, that's good.
I kind of said I would give him a honey bun if he did it.
A honey bun? Did you ever feel, while being fostered, that adoption would never happen because you had so many siblings and were past most kids' adoptable age? It must have been very stressful. Do you ever suffer from anxiety now? My son has terrible anxiety and he's not even adopted. He's very quiet like you and afraid to talk to people he doesn't know. So first of all, John is not quiet.
Oh, no.
He's very loud.
Extremely loud. I would run through the house.
It's funny because I think sometimes you get a sense of somebody like... because you only see little pieces of their life. John is the goofball. He's the one that thinks that life is funny and a joke. And he's always goofing around. Yep. And he's not always, but loud and So he actually is, I mean, he can be quiet. You can be quiet.
Yeah, I used to be really quiet. I would literally just, in school, I would just sit down in the corner and not speak for 8 hours straight.
He's got a little bit of both.
If I was ever called on, I would just start studying over my words, but now it's not a problem for me.
He can sit and be quiet, and he also likes to go out and have fun. So you have both sides to you. And then how about, did you ever think about being too old for adoption?
Too old? Oh no. We got adopted like a couple years ago, like 4 years ago.
Yeah, 2020. Yep.
2020?
Yep.
So back then I was like 10. I was like, I'm probably like maybe if I was 15 or 16, I'd be like maybe man, but no.
So John came to us and he was only 7 years old, and even though 7 is actually old.
It really is?
Yeah, a lot of times people don't want to even 7, 8, 9. You know, that starts to get too old for people to look at adoption, and I think it's crazy to me because man, those kids still have a lot of years.
I know they're
left.
literally like 10 more years before they become an adult, and they're like, nah, they're too old for me.
Yeah, and I think honestly, if you want to foster, and you want to get your feet wet and start with younger kids, like that's like great, do that. But I would definitely expand your mind after you've done it for a little bit, because doing the older kids, and when I say older kids, I mean like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know, it really can be very rewarding to do that. I think the kids like at that age, they're not even really thinking about that. And as a matter of fact, they were thinking more about going back home to their birth mom than they were about staying with us. And even though they were very torn about it, because once you've lived with somebody for so long and you've built that relationship, you don't want to leave them, because
that was literally like the saddest day of my life probably, is when, because I was kind of young, like it didn't really fully process. Like I said, you know, I didn't really feel anything because they told me, I was like, oh, okay. And then when we got in the car, I was like, wait, hold up. This means I'll never see you guys again? And then that's what made me sad, because I thought I was able to see you guys again, like more and more.
And I think sometimes foster children go back and they can see their foster parents, but I don't think that happens very often, unfortunately. I do have some friends that have been able to see their previous foster children, but I don't think that's the norm. And so that has to be hard. Here you want to be with your birth family,
but it's like the same thing, Nebraska and Texas. You've lived in Nebraska, but in Texas you have so much more experiences, but you're from it, so you kind of want to go back to it.
Yeah, because it's home. Yeah. That's actually a great analogy.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, it's hard. It's very bittersweet. You know, you're getting one good thing, but you're losing one good thing. Yeah. And that's tough.
All right. And the anxiety part of that question was, at first, you know, when I first came there, until I finally got adopted, or around when I was in 5th grade, I kind of broke out of my shell, because before I was quiet, I didn't talk, and I was extremely sensitive. Because I did feel a lot of anxiety, because I was going through so much that I didn't really just know what to say or do. So I just stood there quiet.
Well, and I think too, you know, working through your trauma, you had to work through that. And I'm sure that creates a lot of anxiety when kids, and it's important to have them work through that. Then Mom, sorry, I didn't know your name. I'm a new subscriber. Well, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us on our channel and becoming part of our Conley Clan family. And
her name is Mom. So you got it correct.
My name is Raya, and it is R-H-I-A. They did make a Disney princess after me.
Oh, no.
But they spelled it wrong.
Man.
And then it says, what type of home are you building on the ridge, and will your husband be building it, or will you have contractors do it? So one of Sean's dreams has been to build a house in the mountains. And so we're going to make that dream come true.
Yeah.
And John and Sean are going to build it together. But we're not 100% sure what we're going to build quite yet. We know for sure that we want it to have just windows on that whole one side where it looks out to all of those mountains.
Yeah, because that view is just outstanding.
Oh my gosh, it's
like
amazing.
Already, if you like cleared it out and made it ready for a home, you could probably sell it for a lot.
Oh yeah. It's such a great lot. And it is steep to get to it, but once you get up there, man, it is spectacular.
I know,
up there.
you're literally just, I don't know what the word to say it.
Yeah.
You know when there's a word and it's on the tip of your tongue, but you can't quite say it.
It just creates like all this emotion in you when you see it. It's hard to explain unless you're standing there looking at it.
Yep. In real life. You know, on a video, you'll be like, man, that's somewhat of a good video, but you probably just...
Yeah.
In real life, it's just a lot more
It
beautiful.
is. It's so amazing. And then another new subscriber, Little Nippas. So she says, do you enjoy sports?
I do enjoy doing sports. I would play with my friends a lot. But I remember when I was a little boy, back when I told you I got a lot of, less than 5th grade, I would get really frustrated. And I felt so bad for Dad because he wanted to try to teach me how to play baseball, and I would just scream and run off.
Yeah.
And if I was able to take that back, I would, because I would love to play.
Yeah, John has talked about sports forever, but he just didn't have the frustration tolerance for it.
Nope.
And so they were really never able to do it that much. They'd go out there and try, and then he would get frustrated, and so he never really learned.
That's like one of the biggest things I regret is not because I thought, you don't really think much of it, but later in life you're like, man, I should have done this except for that.
And you could probably do it rec if you wanted to, like recreational, not like going out on where people have all this experience already.
Yeah.
But and that's not to say that you wouldn't do it and be a natural at it.
I'm already a natural at it.
He's a natural at building.
Yeah.
Are you excited to learn how to drive soon? Oh,
I already know how to drive.
Mom's not.
Oh, I'm A-okay. The first and second time it was on the same side because there was a window on the far right, and with the mule, I'm an excellent driver. I'll go like 100 miles an hour.
Actually, with the mule, he's really good.
I'm extremely good.
He does not go 100 miles an hour, but he is good at driving the mule.
Oh, you should have seen
the mule does not even go 100 miles. The mule goes like tops 40, I think.
Well, feels like 100 because I go top and I start pressing the gas pedal while doing sharp turns, and it might be dangerous, but I'm really good at driving the mule. But the truck, I don't really have a lot of good experiences with it.
If he actually drove that crazy, he'd be grounded. So.
Yeah, I was making all this up, guys. Don't worry. I'm excited to drive again. It's just that this time I would probably want somewhere that's more cleared out, like a parking lot, because I have done like a couple things like, hey John, can you bring the truck over here, or the van, or the Volvo, and I would do it pretty easy, just doing things like, alright, I'm gonna need you to go to the house, grab something, load this up, and then drive all the way back with like the trailer on the back.
The one thing about our truck, because that was what he was learning on.
It's so big.
Yeah, it's an extended cab, and it also has a long bed. So it's like I think a 9-foot bed. And so it is really long.
With the Volvo, it's not, I don't really worry about driving the Volvo. I even feel comfortable just going on the road and driving. But with the truck and the van, they're so big, I feel like it's just so big, and like
they are big.
And whenever I see a space like 10 feet apart, I get worried because I feel like I might crash or hit the sides, which
I even feel uncomfortable driving the truck sometimes.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Yeah. It's been ramen. Like some things that I've never changed. Some things will never change in my life.
You could eat ramen every day.
I have done it a couple of times. Eat it like 3 days in a row. Morning, ramen.
Yeah.
Meal, ramen.
I finally had to tell him, no more ramen for a while.
Yeah, actually, Mom almost was gonna ground me. She was thinking, man, this Halo doesn't really seem to...
Ground him from ramen.
Yeah, and when she said ground him from ramen, I was busting down in tears. I was crying, please, take away my TV for a year, but not the ramen.
Do you enjoy video games or Roblox?
I do both.
He does.
I love playing Roblox because, I get a...
We're actually very picky.
Oh, yeah.
About what our kids get to play on their electronics.
You know me, I kind of...
John just got Roblox. I do not let the other kids play Roblox because you can talk to other people on there, and I do not want my kids talking to strangers online.
I'm a big liar.
I get, like, there's this component to it where like John obviously could talk to his friends on there, or you can make new friends or whatever. But that is such a scary thing to talk to people that could be lying about who they are, that it is just not something we introduce until we feel like they are mature enough to understand.
I used to have Roblox when I was little, but the thing is, when people were talking to me and I was like 5, they somehow figure out a way to how to say some curse words, and I showed Mom, and she literally grabbed my tablet and deleted it right away. I was like, wait, what?
Yep, nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just too dangerous.
It's really fun because there's literally like a million different games you can play all on one app. But at the same time, you can meet literally a billion different people, which Mom gets worried about.
And that's kind of cool, and I understand that. And I think that now at this point, John's probably old enough to understand the dangers that can come with that.
Oh yeah.
So we went ahead and gave him Roblox.
Yeah.
But like the other kids, the younger kids, like Gavin wants to play it. I just don't like that.
No.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? And why?
North Dakota.
North Dakota?
At least somewhere cold like Alaska.
Oh my gosh.
Is it Alaska? I forget sometimes.
Alaska is super cold.
Canada.
Oh, Canada is super cold too.
Yeah, I something that a lot of people don't know about me is that I absolutely love the cold. I would go out wearing only shorts in the middle of like negative 10-degree weather, and I would have fun.
Yeah.
I just love being in the cold because I don't know what's about it. Is it? I kind of.
Or he's like, John, put on a coat. He's like, I'm fine.
Yeah, because I don't know why, but I sweat so much, and this is started whatever since I was like 8 or 9. But like I'm just sweating buckets over here, wearing like just a jacket. But if I'm just basically just wearing this, I would wear this in the middle of winter, and I would feel fine because I don't start sweating at all. I feel nice.
It's called hormones.
No, it started way before that.
And then she has 2 questions for me. Now, I'm sorry, I'm assuming, I keep saying she, and I'm assuming that because we have a lot more females that watch our channel than males. Are you going to adopt or foster any more kids? Oh, and we did kind of answer that. We are not sure. We keep saying no, and then we always do it again. So, and are you going to have any more kids naturally through childbirth? And no, because I can't.
No.
So I went in for some issues that I was having, and they were supposed to remove one fallopian tube, and they ended up taking them both. And so I am unable to have any children. And actually, I don't think after I had Brianna, I don't think I was even able to have kids.
I don't see you doing that, like being pregnant with like 10 different kids running around.
And I am almost 46.
It's fine. Age is just a number.
So my birthday is in like a week, and I'm turning 46, and so it probably wouldn't be a good idea to have any biological
Her birthday is February 13th. How do I... It's only me and hers because I immediately remember hers by thinking of Friday the 13th, the horror movie.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. I got you. That's the only way I can remember her birthday.
And then the rest of the questions, I'm going to do, I think, a Q&A for myself. I have not done a Q&A in like 2 years. And so I think I'll answer the rest of your questions on a Q&A for me. And then last question, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, Lydia's only. John, what is your favorite meal to have with your family? So what is your favorite thing that we have?
Favorite thing we have is chicken nuggets and fries. But one thing I would...
Of course.
Or like hamburgers, just some American food.
Not those casseroles?
No.
Pizza
casserole.
What about homemade pizza?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's just one thing I want to try. I really should have did this on my birthday. My mom's gonna get it soon, guys.
What?
We're gonna try curry. I don't know why, but I watched it in a show, and I saw them having some curry and how spicy it can be, and I was just drawn to it. Yeah. I would ask her, like, Mom, when can we have curry? When can you have curry?
Yeah. There actually is a really good Indian restaurant back in Omaha that we went to. I wonder, we should maybe go sometime. You can try it. And then, I don't know that I would be able to make the best curry, but another place it's a Thai place. And you can, like, pick how spicy you want it. Like 1 through 10, and I usually do 5, and it's pretty spicy.
I'm gonna do 10.
But
they're gonna say, well, maybe you should choose something a little less spicy.
Yeah, I think 10 would burn your mouth.
Yeah, it's a challenge for me. I'll burn all my taste buds.
Oh!
So I can restart tasting every single food I've ever eaten in my life.
I think that Thai food is so good. I love Thai food.
I don't know what Thai food is.
We'll have to do some experimenting.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then, what siblings do you hang out with the most?
Oh, I remember this one. So basically, definitely Rosie and Elena. Emma, she's up as the oldest, but since she has some higher superiority over me, I kind of just avoid her at all costs.
Oh my gosh, you hang out with the younger kids.
Rosie and Elena though. They're just really fun to hang out with,
You hang out with Gavin a lot, I feel.
Oh yeah, I haven't even finished. It's Gavin and Lily. I've been hanging out with Lily. Has been hanging out with me more, but definitely Gavin. I've hanged out with more than anybody than Gavin.
Yeah.
Why? Is because he literally sees me as his god.
He looks up to you as an older brother.
No, as a god.
No.
Let me have my moment.
Okay, guys, that is it.
Oh, I was hanging out with Christian because I'm forced to by mom.
Yes, the kids all have to take turns playing with him.
Today is my day.
Today is John's day, but he got out of it so we could film.
I still get my money.
We will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Subscribe or else mom will never post another video.